Special
there.
I got both.
Does this look okay? Where's Rich gonna be?
And we got Rich too.
And you can figure out the best camera angle.
Just
Sundays at 10 and 10. We don't have enough mice. Brian's not here to bring it up.
I've never sat in the corner
You
before.
might like this one.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I have.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
I'm in the corner.
I can, hold on.
I'm in the corner.
Is this actually functioning, Hobo? This headphone?
How about this one?
Yeah, you gotta plug it into one of the jacks and then you drop
Who's
it.
got the Zika virus update?
Oh God, that's right too. Yeah.
I need a special podium like Hillary.
Yeah.
That holds her up, like.
No, it's supersized. Did you see
Yeah.
it?
Actually, she got the little one.
They're doing the Disney effect. So I got to break at
Well,
23.
She got the little one to make her
350.
Hers is bigger?
Hers is wider but shorter.
shorter to make her look
To make her look as even, like, you know, to make it.
stature wise.
The little things are right here.
Thanks.
You plug in the back in that, and then you grab this green
Oh,
thing, you
look,
plug into the
I've
headphone.
never been on this computer before.
What am I doing?
It's this
Here, can I move this?
headphone jack.
Oh, I need them.
You gotta ask Karen either way.
This headphone jack doesn't work.
Fix this. Fix the board.
Now
So ignore that
I'm
email.
trying to think about all this
You
stuff.
got the green thing plugged in?
Oh, I thought about it last week.
Here, plug Gerard into.
All right, I can't hear.
Where's your art?
I know that plug doesn't.
There's a lot of wires.
Karen, what's my password?
All right.
Are you into joint? No, you're into.
I had an email sent you about the board. Lord, I just fixed it.
All I know is.
What'd you do,
I had
reset
to
it?
reset it.
Oh, it's radio.
Okay, you guys let me know how you're doing on volume.
That's good here.
You're good there?
I'll just share with you.
You're not sure of that.
Thanks, Susie.
I got a picture last time.
Sorry, that's mine. I know there's no food in here.
You guys set on volume, you good?
Bill, I have no headphones, so you have to leave here.
That jack doesn't work?
Nope.
You don't have any more
That
headphones?
jack, oh, you don't sit there.
You don't have a
Headphones
splitter?
right here.
Somebody took the. We got one.
It's got headphones.
I got headphones.
Jack.
Jack
Oh,
doesn't work.
Jack? I don't have any more
Headphones I
Jack.
got.
That's all I got.
Don't worry about it.
Jack, it's for Jack.
We got Jack.
We got Jack.
That Jack is always working.
Oh well.
As your cable reach, I can plug you into over here. If it's long enough, so underneath the screen here.
Well, no, it's all.
That's fine, yeah, give her these
Yeah, I
headphones.
can
Are we
plug in
playing
over
any
there.
sound?
Give her these headphones.
Yeah, I'm fine.
But
I can hear everybody.
They should extend.
By your side, let our independent local agents help you with all your auto, home, life, or business insurance needs. Find your agent at autoowners.com.
I'm not lower out.
La, 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 la.
Years of putting people first.
In West Palm Beach, call Wells Fargo Insurance Services USA, 561-655-5500.
California Governor Jerry
Greek Moving and Storage
Throw it
takes
under the
the
monitors.
stress out of moving.
Try
Let's
to-
face
You
it,
didn't miss
moving
that
is
last week.
any of us
Jack.
want to have to deal with. But when you gotta
What am I-
move,
what'd you
you've
throw
gotta
at me?
call Greek Moving.
Headphones,
These guys
hello.
are amazing. I've had my fair share of moving
Wow.
with cars.
Wow.
They work at a snail's pace, but not moving.
I'll lower it.
A little lower. A
All
lot
right.
lower. Lower, lower, lower. Okay, wait a minute. Go up just a step. Good.
Damn, did that sensitive?
Thank you.
I'm gonna try and
Thank you.
and
Okay.
be on Facebook Live
I
all
don't have
day.
an intro, I don't think.
So we'll see. There's no intro?
No.
Yes, there is.
Wow, look at all of us in one
Oh,
room.
there's an intro.
Scary as hell.
Isn't this great?
I don't have a card number or anything. It's not in the system.
Can't find my better, so if you're planning a local move
You're on the
interstate,
phones, by the
and you live
way.
in Broward, Palm
You
Beach,
can't
and the
play,
treasure coast,
Joyce, you
call
can't play
Greek
sound.
First presidential debate at Joy Gerard, Cam Carey, Bill Adams, Rich Stevens, and George Bennett of the Palm Beach Public.
561-683-1330.
What song we gonna play?
Yeah, I don't have the card number or anything. So they
Hanley Center at Origins can help. Whether it's alcohol or abuse of prescription medication, Hanley Center at Origins has been healing families in our community for over 30 years. And their nationally accredited recovery programs accept insurance. For the help you need, visit originsrecovery.com or call 844-6-HANLEY. Healing happens
God, I
here.
can't go too
Hanley
far.
Center at Origins.
What are we talking about?
844-6-HENLEY.
I don't know, Gerard's.
Jose Rodriguez?
I'm just leave, ignore me over here in the corner. I'll be fine. I'll
I'm
be
gonna
like some
talk about the
mushroom.
Marlins. I wanna talk about how Don Mattingly cried
And
and
just
kissed
before
them.
Blue Heron Boulevard, major delays in that
There's no
area.
crying in baseball.
There's
No
no
crying. Men are not supposed to cry.
They all cry.
Approaching 95, and an earlier accident on Congress Ave at Peninsula.
How did they not know there was that
Looks
jetty
like
there?
moving soon.
Apparently.
Why was he
Slow
doing
moving traffic,
100
Southern Boulevard
miles an
is
hour?
immediately traced in Forest Hill as
He
well
was
as on
drunk, I'm
41
sure.
South
Yeah.
between Southern
Well,
and
who was
Forest
driving?
Hill.
They figured that one
Slow
out
down
yet?
for another accident
Oh,
on
was he?
Military Trail at Clintmore Road, and that accident shutting
I gotta
down
buy
both
time, I gotta buy time.
directions
About to have a
between
baby.
I didn't hear the news, so I don't know what happened to that.
70th.
And
This
he's
traffic report
24.
brought to you by Unbound.
Good looking
Around the
kid.
world, there are young people who face a difficult decision, continue their dream of education,
Really?
and learn how to help
Who
support
are
their
these people
families.
that we're
And a
listening
single
to?
2
woman
million.
can help them write a new story. See
He
potential.
He was about to,
Yeah.
I gotta get these infos.
That's your 850 WFTL
Been
traffic.
rumors for a couple years that Sox would
What are you guys sharing mics over there?
They know the gender.
Are we sharing mics?
Yes.
Mostly cloudy.
Not you.
Hey, Jay,
Are you guys sharing or
send
we
me an
sharing?
extra too.
No, they're sharing.
I got the
They're
clothes, I
sharing.
just got it from Mickey, put it in my
Ladies have their
phone.
own mics.
Look at that.
And she has to
Now I got room.
On Tuesday,
we'll start to see on-
become cloudy, a high of 88, a 60%
Extraneous.
chance of storms Tuesday.
Yes.
Live from the Crash Proof Retirement Show studios, get educated by Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. Saturdays at 10 a.m. on News Talk 850 WFTL.
Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton meet this evening for the first of 3 presidential debates. Polls show the Republican and Democratic Party hopefuls in a very close race to occupy 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. These debates could tip the balance of
Guys, we
support
shot
in
everybody
favor
with a
of
lawyer.
one of the 2 candidates.
And watch
Join
it.
us now.
Guys, the bed's about to kick on here.
Debate
Okay, here we go.
Roundtable. Here's News Talk 850 WFTL Program Director Gerard Campbell.
And hello, everyone. It's almost here. The first debate between Donald John Trump and Hillary Rodham Clinton set for this evening. And you can hear it live at 9 o'clock this evening on News Talk 850 WFTL. And of course, you can stream it live on our 850 WFTL app on your iPhone or Android. Quite a battle so far. All indications point to this contest going down to the wire on Tuesday, November 8th. A new Washington Post ABC News poll released yesterday shows a virtual dead heat in the race for the White House. Likely voters split 46% for Clinton, 44% for Trump, with Libertarian Party nominee Gary Johnson at 5% and Green Party nominee Jill Stein at 1%. The poll goes on to say among registered voters, Clinton and Trump are tied at 41%, with Johnson at 7% and Stein at 2%. And with those dead heat poll numbers, tonight's debate and the 2 following could play a very key role in just deciding who will soon be calling 1600 Pennsylvania home. Besides broadcasting live on 850 WFTL, we're also broadcasting live on Facebook Live. Thank you, Natalie. And we'll be watching the 850 WFTL Twitter feed as well. And we'll be monitoring your phone calls. We may be able to take a call or two. That number, by the way, 877-850-8585. In the studio today, it looks more like the Miami Dolphins locker room in here. Wow, it's crowded. In the studio today, your 850 WFTL News and Talk team. Rich Stevens, heard Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Jennifer Ross, Bill Adams, heard 11 a.m. to noon. Joyce Kaufman, heard noon to 3 p.m. Karen Curtis, our afternoon news host. And I'm Gerard Campbell, your morning host, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., Monday to Friday, right here on 850 WFTL. Okay, let's get it underway. And Joyce, you're our main politics talk show host here on 850 WFTL. What do you make of this country being so split? I mean, it's a dead heat right now.
It is. I don't think it's going to be as close in the end as it is today. I think I'm predicting a landslide. And I wore my Deplorable Me T-shirt. For those of you on Facebook, you get to see my T-shirt with Donald Trump and Never Hillary on his shirt. I got to tell you, there are some interesting things that happened this weekend, not the least of which was the threats to bring Mark Cuban and Jennifer Flowers onto the front row. Both were dumb ideas, in my opinion. And I think that it'd be silly to turn this into a reality television show. Oh, wait, this is a reality television show.
And Ms. Flowers, she's not going to be there. I heard that a short while ago. They said, no, that's not going to happen. So Jennifer Flowers won't be there.
According to Vice Presidential candidate Mike Pence, she's not going to be there. I still have a funny feeling, though. They may put diamond and silk on either side of Mark Cuban. It'd be like a Cuban sandwich.
Oh, there we go. Lovely.
I heard Monica Lewinsky was going to show up. Now, wouldn't that be fun?
Ouch.
That would be
and
fun.
Paula Jones and holding her feet up.
Juanita Broadway.
Yeah, you could fill up the whole front row if you could bring all of them in.
You could fill up the whole arena.
Okay, guys, what's your impression tonight? You think we're going to see fireworks right out of the gate? You know, this is such a divisive campaign. I think we're going to see some fireworks right away.
See, I don't think that at all. I think that it's going to be a substantial, they're going to talk substance because both of them have a lot to lose if they go off the rails. He has less to lose, however, than Hillary Clinton. My opinion is that Donald Trump has such low expectations for his debate performance that as long as he doesn't call her the B word, he's going to win this debate.
He just has to look presidential.
Exactly.
Right.
He has to not lose his cool.
Do you buy that? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think on the other hand, sorry, Rich, Hillary has to look healthy. Her hair's going to be nice. She better have a darn good-looking pantsuit on other than that parachute thing she's been wearing. And she has to look steady on her feet. Because people are going to be watching to see if she's going to be flailing back and forth, or if her eyes are going to cross, or if she's going to get dizzy, or whatever.
You were saying she has a different podium, though, to make her look taller and thinner, or what?
I think
Shorter and wider. It is. The
No, it
podium
is.
is shorter and wider.
And Rich, you said there's steps behind it too, the
Yeah,
podium?
Apparently, there's a couple steps.
No, they weren't allowed to use steps.
But they weren't. They also said they weren't allowed to use the lift, and now they granted it. Why did they change that and give in after they told her on Thursday that they wasn't allowed that?
Because they took camera angles, as they always do when the candidates came out, and from either right or left, if she doesn't have the lift, she's not going to be seen at all. And that was simply unfair. And the Trump campaign did
Really?
that.
So if God forbid Hillary is elected president, they have to travel around with a box to make her taller?
Pretty much, yeah.
No, just a traveling therapist and
You know-
EpiPen and everything else.
Do you know why they do this today? Why this is so important? Do you remember, most of you were probably too young, I'm the only one old enough, when George H.W. Bush came out for the first debate against Michael Dukakis, and there was like a foot difference in their height, and George H.W. or W.H., he held on to Dukakis' hand for like an extra 30 seconds so that the audience saw this really lopsided image of this giant Republican and this tiny little Democrat. And so now they have a very brief passing and they try to make them look uniform.
But you make the point, though, Joyce. It's exactly what it is for most people. We're all tuned into this. We're locked into it much more than the average human being, not just American, right? But most people are going to look at this, and it is a reality show, like you said at the outset, and they see this as entertainment, and they get one or two quick impressions. Looks presidential, doesn't, sounds good, wasn't mean, whatever, and they walk away from that. That's why the appearance, the optics of this are so important. He has to, you're right, he has much less to lose. He just has to not be insulting and not throw out these ridiculous generalities. I have the best generals, believe me, the best. Stay away from that, and he walks away with a win.
There are some loaded categories, though, that they have to be careful about. I think, for instance, all the racial tension in the last 2 weeks with the protests, that's a very difficult subject for both of them to navigate. You've got one who comes off sounding very anti-police, and that's not going to work for her. And you have the other that comes off a little bit, too pro-police in that argument. So I'm interested to see how they navigate that.
That'll be interesting to see how that does happen this evening. And talking about appearances, have any of you guys ever had pneumonia before? I think I had it eons ago. Oh, Jen had it recently.
Just had it like a month ago.
And, Hillary, it's been, 2 weeks? It takes a while to recover from that.
Well, maybe she's going to call in sick
Your
tonight.
strength is zapped. Well, she better be there. But, appearances make a huge
Yeah.
factor.
Well,
And
she had that miraculous recovery 90 minutes after, the 9/11 memorial. So you have to go back to that. They claimed one thing. We still don't believe that, in fact, it was pneumonia to begin with. And kind of like everything else in the news cycle is at 15 minutes and it's gone and nobody's talking about that now. So it's going to be very interesting to see what her appearance looks like, especially on those tight shots, which they'll have tonight.
I want her to do that like jerky thing that she did with Try the Chai.
Her eyes.
Or a cross.
Cross-eyed.
Yeah. You know, 8 in 10 voters will be watching tonight, and many of them are not decided, so it's going to be very interesting.
That doesn't make any sense to me that they're not decided. I heard that same
Like
statistic.
30% aren't decided. How can you not know what you're doing by now? But I mean, a lot of people were waiting for the debate.
Does anybody think it matters that the first question's going to be thrown to Hillary rather than Donald Trump?
Yeah,
Sure
who
it
tossed
does.
the coin?
Right, but it's like who gets the ball first, and he doesn't have a chance to defer. Absolutely, this matters, but I think it actually is to his advantage.
Yes.
Because if she stumbles at all, he can jump in with some sort of a solid answer. That's it. First impressions are everything. If he nails that first question after she maybe has a little bit of a stumble, he might have won the whole thing already.
So do you think he won the coin toss and said, let her go first?
No.
Because
No.
if
She won.
She won. And she opted for the question.
Well, do we have to take a break, stay on some sort of a schedule here?
Yeah.
No?
No?
No
Okay.
schedule.
Oh,
All right.
we keep going.
Beautiful.
Brennan built us a beautiful clock where we go for about 18 minutes or so, and then we take a break, and then we come back and wrap up the show. So yeah, we don't have to worry about that.
Well, I have one real concern tonight. This is my only concern about the debate because I think it's going to be fun. I can't wait. But Lester Holt is my concern.
Lester Holt.
He's wearing an earpiece, that, as they all do, so they can be in communication with their
For follow-up
team.
questions and things like that.
Right, and they have teams. Chris Wallace will have a Fox team. They all have their teams. And this whole idea of who's going to do the fact checking really concerns me because they're going to break the rules, all these moderators. They're not going to be able to avoid fact checking if the other candidate doesn't jump in quick enough. And I'm really a little bit fearful about, I know which way Lester Holt leans. And if he begins to be unfair to Donald Trump early on, I think that's the only thing that could throw my guy.
Now, we also have to, speaking of earpieces, we have to be on the lookout for Hillary's earpiece, too.
But she can't wear an earpiece.
Well, that's what they said about the commander-in-chief thing on NBC, but.
No, they didn't say that about it, interestingly enough. Now it's been exposed that there was no rule about that. It's general practice not to have an earpiece, but they had no rule then. Tonight there's a rule, no earpiece.
And Mr. Trump, he was worried about Lester Holt. He said, they're Democrats. They're all Democrats. He's a registered Republican, believe it or not.
Is he
Lester
really?
Holt,
Lester?
yes,
Yes,
but
he
he's
is, yep.
but he is working for an organization that has made it their their mission to get Hillary Clinton elected.
Well, you saw what they did to Matt Lauer, and I mean, the perception was he was harder on Hillary than Trump, but
Well, Matt Lauer had producers in his ears. They were pushing him for those follow-up questions on Hillary.
The latest number, they're projecting 100 million plus watching this
It's
tonight.
like a Super Bowl.
You're talking, it's exactly right,
It
Joyce.
is.
You're talking Super Bowl level entertainment.
I wonder what the commercial's going to be.
There's
no
one.
commercial.
There is one.
But there is one. Immediately after, Tecate beer has a great. We saw it right before we walked in. Jen and I just looked at it. Now it's a Heineken company, but it starts off with "There's going to be a wall, the greatest wall ever," and then it turns into Tecate party wall, and that's all it is.
It's a great commercial.
But look at how they're gearing this up, as if they're Super Bowl commercials, though. There's another Audi one where it's a couple trying out a car, and the tagline's going to be, make sure you pick the best driver this November. So it's that big. This is going to be the biggest ever.
Well, the biggest presidential debate was in 1980 between Carter and Reagan, 80.6 million. The second one was Bush, Clinton, Perot in 92, 69.9 million. Now, here's my theory. 1992, long time ago, they pulled in almost 70 million. If they went by today's date and the availability of television to people in comparison to back in 1992, I think the Bush, Clinton, Perot one would have just kicked butt. So tonight, they got to get over 81 million people to break a record.
And I think that's going to be easy to happen because it's on so many different
Right.
networks. I mean, whatever network you choose, they're going to run it. So they're going to take all those numbers tonight, and
Right.
tomorrow morning we're going to find out what that number is. I'm predicting 110, 115.
I think it's going to be higher because of social media and live streaming, because it's going to be live streamed everywhere.
And remember this too, guys, how they're going to cover this. Let's say that they're saying 74% of the country will see it tonight, live, at least a part of it, right? That's into the 90s going into tomorrow, the way it'll be covered, where people will see at least a portion of it in replay, on the news, constant news cycle. Most of the country is going to see at least a part of this debate tonight. That's why it's so big.
Do you think that there's going to be a one-liner that's going to nail it, that will be the topic of conversation tomorrow?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And who do you think's gonna have it?
Donald Trump.
It's going to be Trump when he looks into the crowd and goes, "Hi, Mark."
But wait,
Blows him a kiss.
Hello,
is
Mr.
that one moment gonna be something positive for Trump or negative for Trump?
Positive.
I think he's going to start it off by saying hello to Mark Cuban, who's sitting in the front row. I said that earlier this morning. Bill and I had this
And offers
conversation.
to buy one of his, buy the team or
Buy the
something.
Mavericks or something. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I got more money than you. I'll buy your team.
And again, don't forget that debate will be heard live tonight right here on News Talk 850 WFTL. Our pregame show, so to speak, starts at 7 o'clock. We'll be rerunning this interview right now. Then we go to ABC for their pre-debate show, and then 9 o'clock it's Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump on stage. And we do have two other debates as well. The next debate, well, first of all, there is a vice presidential debate Tuesday, October 4th, but back to Clinton and Trump. The second presidential debate, Sunday, October 9th. And the third presidential debate is Wednesday, October 19th. Jen?
We were just talking about viewership. Do you know that each the Democratic and the Republican Party are hosting watch parties this evening?
Oh, yeah.
This is crazy. In Palm Beach County, if you're around here, you can go to the Lafayette Music Room for the Democrats. It's on Rosemary Avenue at City Place, downtown West Palm. Starts at 8 o'clock. Or, I like the Republican place better, and Gerard, maybe you can stop by and represent. They're going to be at Brogues on Lake Avenue in downtown
yes.
Lake Worth.
Nice.
You know what? That is just down the street from me. Literally a 5-minute walk.
Do it.
Or
Start it.
maybe after a Guinness or two, about a 6-minute walk. But they're very close. And people are tweeting us. We have something here from Nevi Zolk. And he tweeted to at 850 WFTL, at Joyce on Air, at Rich Stevens. And he says, great for Hillary, not so much for Trump. And again, send us your tweets. We look forward to hearing from you, and we can take a phone call or two. If some of you have an issue you'd like us to discuss regarding these candidates and the debate tonight, of course, you can give us a call at 877-850-8585.
Now, I'm sorry, what about the drinking game? I heard, John, you mentioned this the other day. It hasn't been brought up, and I think this would probably be a good time to instate our own, because you know, what? No?
I feel sorry for the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints because they're playing
Nobody's
opposite.
gonna watch
No
their
one is
game.
watching this football game at
But
all.
anybody had watched it anyway?
Yeah, they wouldn't have anyway. That's a
Oh, that's
snoozer.
so wrong.
I don't know.
But
I don't
right.
know anything about football. If it was Ohio State, I'd be watching it. And that's college. I don't even watch pros.
Let me get back to my fact-checking, this, why I'm disturbed about Lester Holt taking over the fact-checking, which I believe will happen, and once that happens, it could make Donald a little roiled. PolitiFact, which everybody's been using as the fact-checker most recently, I looked at some of their fact-checking over the last 6 weeks, and I'm very disturbed by what I found. For instance, when Bernie Sanders said that there was like a 57% unemployment in the black community, they said that was mostly true. When Donald Trump said it, they said it was mostly false. Now, why would they have different results? The same statement was made, and yet they saw it so differently when they did their fact-checking. Leads one to believe they might be a little bit biased.
Hillary rolled out a commercial this morning about Donald Trump lying about should we go into Iraq? Yes. When he was on Howard Stern, no. And then Syria, should we take Gaddafi out? Yes. No. I mean,
She needs to be very careful about going down the lying path.
And of course, I think some of the issues that Trump will bring up, I'd be surprised if he didn't. Emails with Ms. Clinton and, of course, her health. And we'll get into that
Oh,
coming
he
up.
won't bring up our health.
We'll,
no.
I don't think so.
We'll get into that coming up in the next segment right here on News Talk 850. You're listening to our presidential roundtable and everyone in the studio. And we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back, and we hope to maybe take a phone call or two. Thanks for joining us on 850 WFTL.